Please enjoy it while it's hot and freshly fried. As she said this, I noticed something resembling a tail sticking out of the fried chicken. It made me uneasy and I couldn't help but frown. The sight was somewhat unsettling and I found myself hesitating to eat. Aren't you going to eat? Unable to eat the fried chicken in front of me, I found a reason to make my daughter-in-law Roberta leave her seat for a moment. Could I get a glass of water? Seeing Roberta serve me fried chicken with a tail only heightened my suspicions towards her. I was unsure of what to do. Eating it was out of the question. Seizing the opportunity when Roberta left her seat, I quietly switched our place, hoping it was just a mistake. Praying for the best, I watched Roberta eat upon her return. To my shock, she immediately foamed at her mouth and fell backwards after a single bite. Surprised and concerned, I rushed to her aid.
Hey, what's wrong? Are you okay?
Roberta had lost consciousness. I was convinced she had deliberately tampered with my food. This was no mere prank. I could never forgive such an act. My name is Lucia, 60 years old. Last year, my only son Randy got married and moved out, leaving me and my husband James to live alone. James works as a regular office employee and I work part-time at a restaurant. Life had been peaceful for us as a couple since Randy left. One evening, Randy and his wife suddenly visited us.
We're home.
Mother-in-law, long time no see. Oh, what brings you here all of a sudden? I had just returned from my part-time job and was about to start preparing dinner.
We wanted to taste your cooking again, Mom.
Randy always raves about mother-in-law's cooking, so we boldly decided to come over for a feast. I feel flattered being praised for my cooking. If you had told me, I would have prepared something. I just got back. Can you wait?
Of course, we'll wait. Thank you.
Feeling good, I decided to make my specialty, fried chicken and French fries, for them. I don't usually make greasy food, but I made fried dishes today for you youngsters. Eat plenty. The couple heartily enjoyed the meal.
Mom's cooking is the best, isn't it? Just can't stop eating.
Yeah, it's delicious. Roberta smiled and complimented the food, but her expression seemed clouded. Mother-in-law, Randy always said your cooking is great, and he was right. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'll cook next time, and I want you to taste it, mother-in-law. Thank you for the invitation. I'm looking forward to it, I replied lightly, hoping to bridge the gap with Roberta. But no wife would be happy to hear her husband praise another woman's cooking. Roberta's slightly clouded expression was probably due to that. I felt a tinge of unease, hoping this dinner wouldn't lead to something bad. Then the next day, I got a call from Randy. Hello, what's up?
Mom, about the promise with Roberta yesterday, is it okay?
The promise about Roberta cooking next time? Is there a problem?
Yes, I hate to see it, but honestly, her cooking is inedible. I've told her many times, but she doesn't accept it.
You shouldn't speak like that. It's rude to Roberta.
But it's really inedible. I try to choose my words carefully, but she doesn't understand.
Okay, I'll judge it when I taste her cooking next time.
All right, thanks.
We ended the call there. Randy was never picky and wasn't one to criticize others' cooking. It must be really bad, I thought. A week later, the day Roberta was to cook arrived, and James and I headed to our son's house for the weekend dinner. I had shared Randy's comments and our previous visits details with James. James agreed that we shouldn't complain about a meal prepared for us. I hoped today's dinner would turn out well. Soon we arrived at our son's house. Welcome. Randy's expression was dark, probably worried about Roberta's cooking, and I didn't feel warmly greeted. Mother-in-law, father-in-law, please come in and wait upstairs. I'm still preparing. I made everything ready, so look forward to it. Can I help with anything? I can chop vegetables if you need. No, it's okay. I've got it all covered today, mother-in-law. Please, just relax and sit down. I was not allowed in the kitchen by Roberta, so I decided to wait in the living room. About 30 minutes later, it seemed the food was ready. Sorry to keep you waiting. I made fried food today, trying to match what mother-in-law did last time. I felt relieved. With fried food, the main concern is how it's fried. The seasoning can always be adjusted with sauces. I thought today's meal might go off without a hitch. Then the food was brought in. This is for father-in-law, this one's for mother-in-law, here's Randy's, and this is mine. She carefully divided the plates for each person.
Looks delicious. Is this fried chicken?
It's a surprise. Eat it before it gets cold. I thought it was fried chicken, but I saw something like a tail. I have made fried chicken many times at my part-time job, but this was not it. In fact, I wasn't sure if it was edible at all. The others' plates looked like normal fried chicken, but mine was different. Feeling uneasy, I frowned. I found it off-putting, but couldn't just not eat. I hesitated, not knowing what to do. Mother-in-law, please enjoy it while it's hot and freshly fried. I found an excuse to make Roberta leave her seat. Roberta, could I have some iced tea? I'm quite thirsty. There's water right there. I would like iced tea, please. Okay. Her response sounded almost like a sigh. While Roberta was in the kitchen, I quickly switched her plates. James and Randy, engrossed in their food, didn't notice. I didn't know what was fried, but I couldn't eat something unidentifiable. Here's your iced tea. Thank you. I took a sip of iced tea and ate the fried chicken. The breading was hard, not very tasty. The other two also looked dissatisfied. How is it? Is it good? It's okay. Maybe a bit over-fried. The crust is hard. Can't bite through in one go. Roberta, try it yourself. Roberta looked puzzled. I had complained openly about the food. I hoped it was just a mistake. Then Roberta bit into the tail-bearing fried item. Immediately, she foamed at her mouth and collapsed.
Hey, what's wrong? Roberta, are you okay?
Roberta had lost consciousness. James called an ambulance and she was rushed to the hospital. We drove to the hospital following the ambulance. We followed in our car shaking. Had I eaten that, I would have been in the ambulance instead. At the hospital, we waited in a dimly lit room. Nobody around. Then a doctor came out.
Are you the family? Yeah, how's my wife? She seems to have eaten something harmful. We found a lot of bacteria in her stomach. She's not in danger, but needs rest. I see. Are you all okay? Didn't you eat the same thing? We seem fine for now,
James answered, looking at Randy and me.
The person who cooked it is unconscious, so we don't know what she put in it. I see. She's asleep now. You can go home for today.
Urged by the doctor, we left the hospital. The car ride was filled with a heavy silence.
Randy, do you ever feel sick after eating Roberta's cooking? No, she's not great at cooking, but I have never felt ill. I see.
Initially, I was trembling with fear, but now anger was welling up inside me. I actually know what caused this.
What? How do you know, Mom?
The fried dish served to me had a tail.
A tail? Fried chicken is supposed to be chicken. Why would it have a tail?
I don't know, but it definitely had one. I couldn't bring myself to eat it. It was too repulsive, so I secretly swapped plates with Roberta, and then she collapsed after eating it. The car fell silent. They must have been processing the information.
Wait, so Roberta tried to make you eat that?
I think so. I was scared when Roberta collapsed, but now I think she was trying to kill me. If I had eaten it, I would have been the one in the ambulance.
That's
attempted murder. You can't forgive her, Randy. You should leave her immediately.
It must be some mistake. That can't be right.
Randy seemed unable to accept what I said.
First, let's find out what she was trying to make us eat. Randy, don't eat anything from home for a while. Okay, I understand.
We arrived home amidst unsettling tension. 2 days later, the hospital called with information about what was eaten. James was at work, so Randy and I rushed to the hospital.
According to our analysis, the substance found in the stomach was a rat.
We were shocked. I felt nauseous, almost vomiting.
Are you sure? Yes, there is no mistake.
Randy, pale-faced, still seemed doubtful. After hearing the doctor, he still didn't seem convinced. We'll discuss this with your father tonight and then get back to you.
Okay.
That night, I reported to James.
What? A rat? How did that end up in there?
I don't know. I don't remember doing anything to deserve such malice.
Are you sure there's nothing? This is no trivial matter.
After discussing with James, we decided to talk with Roberta's parents. Hello, Randy?
Mom, I'm sorry. I never meant to cause you distress because of Roberta.
Randy seemed lost about where to direct his feelings. It's not your fault, but an apology won't suffice for this incident.
I know.
Let's discuss it once Roberta is discharged. We'll have her parents there too, so arrange it.
Okay, I'll do that.
How is Roberta? Has she said anything?
Yes, but she doesn't want to talk. She's still sick, so I'll ask her more when she's better.
We need to clarify the reason.
I'll let you know when she's discharged.
All right. I ended the call. A week later, Roberta was discharged and a meeting with her parents was arranged. A week after that, James, Randy, Roberta, her parents, and I gathered at Randy's house. The four of them were already there when we arrived and the house was eerily quiet. Randy led us to the living room where everyone was. Upon entering, Roberta's parents bowed to us. "We are truly sorry for what happened."
We have no words to express our apologies.
Randy must have already talked to them. Relieved that they seemed reasonable, I was ready for the discussion. But Roberta, far from apologizing, wouldn't even look at us. "Roberta, apologize now," urged by her mother Adele, pushing her head down. "Let's sit down first." In the tense atmosphere, I began. "Today, I want to know why. Why did you try to make me eat a rat? What grudge do you have against me? I want the truth." "Roberta, tell us too. Why did you do such a thing?" Roberta sighed and began to speak reluctantly. "Well, it's simple. Randy always praised mother-in-law's cooking. Sure, it was delicious, but whatever I made, he always said mother-in-law's was better. Everything was always compared to hers." I was stunned. She tried to kill me over something like that? I didn't even know if eating a rat could kill someone, but that wasn't the point. My mind was on the verge of panic.
Hey, you try to make my mom eat something weird for that reason?
I was frustrated. Randy never says my cooking is good. He hardly eats, always criticizing it and praising mother-in-law's instead.
This is unacceptable.
James and I were furious. Then Roberta's father, Jonathan, stood up and slapped her cheek.
What are you doing? Do you realize what you have done? You could have killed someone.
We were taken aback by Jonathan's furious reaction. Dad, don't you love your daughter? Aren't you on my side?
I'm always on your side, but it's a parent's duty to correct their child when they're wrong.
What you did is a crime. It's unforgivable. Roberta's face paled at the mention of crime. Please tell us more. I'm still not satisfied. I still wasn't convinced. Roberta, did you intend to kill me? I asked directly. I had no such intention. I just thought maybe if you were hospitalized, I would feel better. So you'd be happier if I weren't around, but even if I were hospitalized, that wouldn't make Randy say your cooking is good. It solves nothing. I thought about trusting you as Randy's choice, but it seems I was wrong. I'm disappointed in you, Roberta. I'm truly sorry. I'll accept any punishment.
Please file a police report.
What? Am I going to be arrested? Why? I just wanted Randy to say he liked my cooking. Roberta seemed not to grasp the seriousness of the situation. Being arrested would mean divorce. Randy approached and slapped her in the same way Jonathan did.
No matter the outcome of this discussion, I plan to divorce you. I can't live with someone who tried to kill my mother.
So Randy is on mother-in-law's side after all. Roberta seemed to have a skewed perception.
Right now, we're discussing whether to turn you into the police. The divorce is already decided.
This is terrible.
It's time to make a decision. You decide. You're the victim.
James looked at me. I was honestly torn. If she were a stranger, I would have reported her, but she was Randy's wife. At one point, I was at a loss, thinking that I could not do such a thing to the person who had become my daughter-in-law. All right, just divorce Randy, that's all. Wait, I love Randy. I'll go to the police. Just don't divorce me. Considering her parents' feelings, I decided not to report her to the police. Instead, I settled for what she dreaded most. Divorce from Randy.
Is that really all? No compensation?
No compensation needed. We haven't suffered any financial loss. Thank you. If we don't go to the police, she still has a chance to turn things around. Yes, this time I won't file a police report respecting your parents' feelings. Randy, is that okay? I decided on my own in the end.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted a divorce. Compensating won't change anything. It's better to have a clean break.
Roberta had been crying, but she had nothing more to say.
We'll take Roberta home with us now. Wait a moment.
Randy stopped them. I thought he was going to say a final goodbye, but it was something else.
Please write the divorce papers and pack up all your belongings, Roberta. Once we know what belongs to you, we'll send it later. That way, there is no need for you to come to this house again. And we won't have to see each other ever again.
Randy's words pushed Roberta further into despair. Afterwards, Roberta and her parents wrote the divorce papers and organized her belongings.
We are truly sorry for everything.
Roberta's parents bowed deeply before leaving. Exhausted from crying, Roberta was in a daze as Jonathan led her away. The next day, Randy submitted the divorce papers to the office early in the morning, officially finalizing the divorce. He arranged for the moving company to send Roberta's belongings to her parents' house. That night, he came to our house.
I'm really sorry about this whole situation. I've caused a lot of trouble.
It's all right now. You don't need to apologize. You're a victim in this too.
Yeah, but I was the one who married Roberta.
Randy seemed regretful about his choice. What happened to the divorce papers and her belongings?
I have already submitted the papers. The belongings will be picked up by the movers the day after tomorrow.
That's quick.
Yeah, I didn't want to stay in that house any longer. I wanted to get it over with quickly.
That's probably for the best.
Can I move back home? I'm thinking of giving up that house.
Of course, you can come back anytime.
No, thanks.
2 weeks later, Randy returned to our house.
Mom, can you teach me how to cook? I want to learn to make at least simple dishes.
It seemed this incident motivated Randy to learn some household skills. Sure, I'll teach you. As I was teaching Randy, James joined us.
Randy, you're going to cook? I won't know until I try. Let me give it a shot.
James, finding it amusing, joined us, and the three of us cooked together cheerfully. It became fun to have the family together cooking. James also developed an interest in cooking, and now we take turns preparing meals. It's reduced my workload and helped me understand what it's like to cook every time. Ever since Randy moved back home, we have been enjoying peaceful and happy days.